Hey there, GISers. I am pretty excited to be recording this video for you guys. It has been several years since we have been able to do a large GIS trip, courtesy of COVID. However, we are looking to plan this trip here in October of 2022. It is going to be 4 days and 3 nights, and it is sure to be a great time. So let's get into a little bit of the specifics before you decide if you think this is right for you and you'd like to register for our trip. I'm going to start with one of the most important things. What is the cost? If you look at the pricing on the far right-hand side, it provides you the price for a single, a double, a triple, or a quad. Typically, students are rooming together in a group of 4. However, if you have a smaller group and everyone in your group is willing to do a smaller rooming accommodation and pay a larger price, that is perfectly fine. I do want to warn you before you register for the trip. Don't just say, well, I know I want a double, so I'm going to register for a double. Make sure that you know another person in GIS or a parent that is willing to also room as a double and pay the increased double price. Otherwise, we assume everyone is staying in a quad room, and when you register, you will be charged for that $914. You do not have to pay it all up front, but we'll get to that here in a moment. Don't worry about getting anything on this screen. I promise I'll come right back to it. Okay, I want to talk about what's going to be included in that $914 that you will be paying. First of all, transportation is completely included. We take a nice charter bus to New York. We have that charter bus with us as we travel around the city and we visit some of our local spots. We obviously also do some walking, right? So with that, our bus is covered. We have a tour manager that is covered. Each bus will have their own tour manager or tour guide throughout the length of the trip, which is pretty awesome. Hotel accommodations are included, and at the hotel, the company does hire security, and security will be on our floors, keeping our students safe and making sure our students aren't being too loud, typically from the hours of 10 p.m. to 5 a.m., and then they give a full report to the teacher leader of the trip each morning, which is an absolutely wonderful part of what this company provides. Additionally, dinner will be provided on the night of October the 7th, 8th, and the 9th. And then breakfast will be provided at the hotel on October 8th, 9th, and 10th. So meal-wise, students will be responsible for their breakfast on the first day of travel and dinner on the last day of travel, as well as lunch each day while we are on this trip. You can look at some really cool highlights that we plan to visit, which is awesome. We'll walk the Brooklyn Bridge if the weather is nice. We'll visit Chinatown and Little Italy, which I enjoy quite a bit. We'll go to the Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island. I really like it's very emotional, but I think it's really important for students. We visit the 9/11 Memorial as well as the museum. We spend some time in Times Square. The highlight probably is what's happening on October the 8th, and that is a tour of the actual United Nations building, I think, which is wonderful because it really does highlight what this Global and International Studies program is all about. And of course, no trip to New York City is complete without a Broadway show, so we will be hitting up a Broadway show as well. We'll get some more specifics as we get closer to the date, such as exactly what that show is going to be, and some other things in relation to that as well. So, as promised, if we go back and look at that login information, if this is sounding interesting to you, if you think you can financially afford it, here is the information. I do want to let you know there is a deposit that needs to be made in the initial booking stages. However, we do make 4 total payments as we progress. If you have the capability of paying for it all up front, you are free to do so. But the company itself that we use the tour through does allow for you to pay in chunks, which I think is nice when you're trying to budget a trip like this for a member of your family. So if that is interesting to you and you think you'd like to do it, your initial deposit and registration must happen by June the 15th to lock on our bus and our spots. You would visit this ETA Ventures website When you get there, you will need this login information, LtownGIS22 with the password NYCtrip 2022. So when you have that information and you go ahead and you go to the ETA website, it's going to look like this. You're going to see in the top a green tealish colored button that says log into my ETA. You are going to click on that to start your registration process. Okay, when you do that, you'll see this. You're going to want to click on the red one, which is in the middle, that says make a new reservation. When you do that, it's going to ask how many people are you making the reservation for and what rooming accommodations are you selecting for the people and the group that you are in fact selecting. Okay, you will have to go in and complete all of the passenger information and fill out a medical waiver at this point. Okay, again, it's very, very basic stuff. Something that you need to know, and I'm not going to talk a lot about this because I am not with the company, so you can pause the video and look at it a little bit more, or you can reach out to them with more questions. They do have cancellation insurance if you think that that might be something that you think is important when you book this trip for yourself or your child. Okay, again, this is just a little bit more about that cancellation premium and how much it would cost if you were interested in that process. Right. With that, this talks a little bit about their COVID plans and what would happen with the trip if COVID were to rear its ugly head again and we were forced to cancel said trip. Okay, with that, this just talks a little bit about why traveling with ETA. I already shared with you, I love the security component, but they are well versed, they are experienced, they've been doing this for a long time. I have taken 3 previous trips with ETA as a teacher, and my child has also taken a trip with ETA, and it has been a phenomenal experience every single time. They really are wonderful, and they do have some phenomenal customer service. Okay. With that, if you would like to directly interact or contact them or ask them questions, this has their phone number, it has their email address, it has their website again, and they do have a chat feature in that regard. They are available now as we are booking our trip. They are available during that process leading up to the trip. And then additionally, while we are on the trip, they do have a 24/7 support. So I can contact that, you can contact that, and it can be very helpful for them. All right. With that, this just has, again, that ETA information again, if you're interested in taking a look at it and contacting them directly. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to email me at tlharding@smcps.org. If you have any questions on the Leonardtown GIS side. If you have questions dealing or relating more to the financing, the registration process, or any of that, then you would need to contact ETA directly. All right, guys, that's all I have, and I'm hoping to see you all in October on our trip to New York City.